I'll tell you about two very qualified Soviet scientists, and one of whom was a vice admiral of the Soviet Navy in charge of some of the most complicated missions in the Arctic waters, who became a vice admiral in 1976 and was engaged in a number of missions, long-range missions for the Soviet submarines under the Arctic ice. What's important to me, who studies Soviet and Russian paranormal phenomena and observations of UFOs and USOs, is that Lev Alexeyevich Matushkin personally observed UFOs and USOs in the cold water of the Arctic and other areas of the planet. Now, this was no ordinary observer. This was a highly trained Soviet military commander who had dedicated his life to the Navy, was a hero of the Soviet Union, who had trained many personnel, and again was engaged in some of the most secretive Soviet missions for the submarines. He passed away in 2014, but he publicly came out and revealed that he had observed during one of the missions a UFO, an egg-shaped UFO object that emerged from the waters not far from Novaya Zemlya archipelago and disappeared. But there was enough time for the crew and the navigator to take notes and photographs that were sent to the Soviet Academy of Sciences for their evaluation. Now, I've revealed in my books about the Soviet secret program to study what they called anomalous aerial phenomena, UFOs. They wouldn't say UFOs at that time, of course. It wasn't permitted, but this is what they were studying. The whole of the Soviet armed forces were basically obligated to collect paranormal information and to send to several centers for the collection and evaluation of such information. And I'm sure this is what Lev Matushkin did, just like many others did in the Soviet Navy. I go into the details in my book about the programs that existed from 1960s on, about the observations that were taken by the Soviet Navy experts who had to deal with the very unusual observations. Matushkin observed during the case by Novaya Zemlya a very unusual object, but he also mentioned that it was the acoustics personnel that usually captured images of the objects that moved at incredible speeds under the water. Now, at another time, Lev Matushkin, not far away from Greenland, observed for over 30 minutes a rapidly moving object, 600 kilometers per hour, under the water. And the noise that the object emitted was not mechanical. It was as if a jet stream of water was moving inside the body of water. This was very interesting, and of course he never received any response from the Academy of Sciences. Now, Lev Alexeyevich Matushkin was convinced after his observations that we're either dealing with a civilization that exists next to us on our planet, or with visitors from outer space. This was a very brave and educated Soviet military specialist. But he wasn't the only one I want to talk to you about tonight. The other gentleman was Igor Petrovich Volk, who was a Soviet cosmonaut who was involved in the Buran mission, rather the preparation to fly the Buran mission. Buran was the Soviet space shuttle that unfortunately never came to fruition. It was a very interesting and maybe more complicated than an American space shuttle, and could have perhaps carried out more missions, but we will never know, because the mission never came to fruition. It was cancelled due to some games that we don't know about or don't want to get into at this point. The most important information I want to tell you is that Igor Volk had himself observed a UFO. Igor Volk passed away not long ago in January of 2017, but he did tell more than once about the experience he had, but not in the orbit. He had never observed UFOs in orbit, not because they are not there, he mentioned, but he just never had time for that. He was busy to look for UFOs, but he did see one on his way on the way from Moscow to the city of Zhukovsky. That's a Russian scientific town. This city very much involved in the space and electronics industries. And while they were driving, he and his friend Nikolai Melnikov, and one of the top scientists in the Buran program, one of the best Soviet specialists in space cybernetics and also artificial intelligence for piloting of spaceships, to name just a few fields that he is an expert in. Nikolai Melnikov, Igor Volk, and the driver were in a moving vehicle, when the driver suddenly stopped and pointed out to a very unusual, of course, object. It was a semi-spherical entity that rose towards the sky and disappeared, flying towards the horizon, and left behind a lilac afterglow. The men stood around for about 20 minutes discussing what they had seen. After that, Igor Volk had no doubts that we, people on Earth, have been visited by them, extraterrestrials. And in itself, this is a very dramatic testimony by a highly skilled and educated man. He graduated from the Moscow Aviation Institute. He was a civilian test pilot who was admitted to the space program in 1978, who carried out basically a mission of preparation to successfully fly the Buran shuttle, who spent 12 days aboard Soyuz 12 in the orbit with 2 other cosmonauts. And there's another story that has to do with this program, but I discuss it in my book and I'll go into it later. I did want to present today the testimony of 2 highly qualified and experienced Soviet top brass, let's put it that way. Always remember it, when you hear those who vilify observations of UFOs and USOs, unidentified submersible objects, always remember that there are people, and there today and were people before, who have the knowledge and experience and sagacity to understand the difference between fake UFOs and something very unusual and real that we observe in the sky, in the sea of our and oceans of our planet.